Hello and welcome. In today's video, we are discussing an important update relating to banking regulations that you need to be aware of. And this is part of Banking Laws Amendment Bill 2024. These changes relate to the nomination process for your bank deposits and safe deposit lockers. And these are designed to simplify things for you and your loved ones, making transfer of assets smoother and less complicated. The key change, you can now nominate up to 4 individuals. Let's dive into the details. Before we jump into the changes, let's quickly understand what a nomination actually is. A nomination is simply a way for you to designate a person who will receive your assets like money in your bank accounts or items in your safe deposit locker in the unfortunate event of your death. It's a crucial step in financial planning as it simplifies the process of transferring your assets to your loved ones, avoiding lengthy legal procedures which can be both time consuming and expensive. Previously, the rules were quite straightforward but also somewhat limiting. You could nominate only one person for each of your bank accounts and lockers. This could be problematic for people who want to distribute their assets among multiple beneficiaries. For instance, if you had two children, you would have to choose only one as the nominee, which could lead to complications later on. So you had to have multiple deposits to nominate multiple people. Now here is the exciting part. The banking regulations have been updated, bringing in some much needed flexibility. And the biggest change is that you can now nominate up to 4 people for your bank deposits and lockers. Remember, 4 is the upper limit, so you can have 3 or 2 people or even one person can be nominated even after this change. And it doesn't stop there. There are two types of nominations that you can now make: successive and simultaneous nominations. Let's start with the successive nomination. You can use this option for both bank deposits and lockers. In successive nomination, you can nominate multiple people up to 4 in a specific order. More on this order of priority later. So, nominee 1 has the first right to claim your assets. If nominee 1 is no longer living or is unable to claim the assets, then the right passes on to nominee 2 and so on. It's like a backup plan within your nomination. For instance, let's say you hire a safe deposit locker with SBI. Let's say you store your jewelry and some property documents in it. Let's also assume that you nominate your spouse as nominee 1, your eldest child as nominee 2, and your youngest child as nominee 3. If your spouse is alive, she or he receives everything. If your spouse has passed away, your eldest child becomes the beneficiary, and so on. Now the second type, simultaneous nomination. You can use this option only for bank deposits like FD, RD, etc. So it's not for lockers. In simultaneous nomination, you nominate multiple people and they all have a right to a share of your assets at the same time. So you'll need to specify the percentage and proportion each nominee will receive. For instance, let's say you open an FD with HDFC Bank for rupees 20 lakh. You nominate your spouse and your child and specify that each will receive 50% of the money. Both are entitled to their shares, that is 10 lakh each, immediately upon your passing. It's crucial to understand that simultaneous nomination is available only for bank deposits and not for lockers. For locker, you can still nominate up to 4 people, but the nomination must be successive. Now you must be wondering why this difference. Imagine trying to divide jewelry or important documents in the locker among multiple people simultaneously. It could get very complicated, right? So that could be one of the reasons. Now let's quickly talk about the order of priority, that is the order in which the nominee receives money or items in the locker. Of course, this is relevant only for successive nomination. It will start with the first nominee on death of the account holder or locker hirer, then second nominee on death of first nominee, third nominee on death of first and second nominees, fourth nominee on death of first, second and third nominees. But by any chance, if you have not specified this order, then the order in which names of nominees appear in the application, for instance FD opening application, that order would be treated as order of priority. Now that you understand these important changes, it's high time that you review and update your nominations. But remember, the Banking Laws Amendment Bill 2024 is passed by Lok Sabha and pending for approval by Rajya Sabha and assent of the President. After the necessary approval and assent, we'll have Banking Laws Amendment Act 2024 and these changes would become effective. So wait for it and ensure to update your nominations. This was all about recent changes related to banking nomination process. Hope it was informative. Thank you for watching.